So chapter number 1, where we are going to start, as you are seeing on the screen, it says the nature of change. What is all the hype about? This is how this book is starting. Chapter number 1, the nature of change. What is all the hype about? So I would encourage you to think about that without even reading anything. Just ask yourself, what is the nature of change? What is the nature of change? If someone asks you a simple question, what do you think? What is the nature of change? What is change about? What change entails? What would you say? How would you respond to that? You must have gone through different type of situations which require change in some way, your behavior, your habit, your any part of your lifestyle, or you are asking someone to make some adjustment. We do that all the time. So if you think about any of that situation, ask yourself, what are the key things you had to go through? What are the essential things which are required when you are going through change? Are there any certain characteristics in personality which if uh, someone have those characteristics, it is easy for them to change? Anything on that? What do you guys think? Any thought? Any thoughts? If I ask you, when you are going through change, what are some of the things which that change would require you to adjust or do? How would you respond to that? Uh, how do you view change? Is it easy for you personally speaking, or is it hard? So for example, one friend is saying adapt. I would appreciate if you would turn on your mic maybe, and maybe say something instead of just chat. Yeah. So one friend is saying adapt. So what do we what okay, all right, at work. So adapt. If you are saying adapt, what would you mean about that? If you ask someone to adapt, before they adapt it, what are some of the things which would be required? Maybe you would have to sell that idea to them, like make it their own idea, so they don't think that you are just asking them to do something. So before they adapt, before they take your idea and bring that change, maybe you would have to spend some time in telling them how important it is. And most likely, maybe you would have to tell them that why they should do it, what is the benefit for them if they are going to do it. Those type of things, maybe uh, you would have to do. Another friend is saying discipline. That is very interesting factor, but I think you would have to elaborate on it a little about it. Perspective, for example, this is very interesting perspective, but I'm not sure what our friend is trying to say there. So maybe they can, elaborate a little bit on it. Like when you say perspective, what do you mean? For example, if you ask me about perspective, I would see that everyone looks at the same situation differently. So right now we are like 30 plus people in this group, but whatever is happening in right now, everyone is looking at it differently. Some people might be enjoying it, some people might not be enjoying it, some people are at work, so they have other things in their mind which they are doing, and other people, maybe some people have some points to say, but they are shy and they don't want to maybe say it, or thinking that maybe what I would say is wrong, those type of things. So if we want to adapt people to change in terms of, let's say, speaking in the conversation, what things which they want? score, they would want to say it. So, but then the point might get missed in that, because then the people are maybe speaking to score marks, not necessarily are speaking they want to speak. It is not their want, it is not their internal desire to speak and to share their idea. So all of us can learn. They are maybe going to speak because they think that if we don't speak, we might lose marks and that type of thing. So what is the internal motivation to change? For example, wherever you are right now, what is your motive? You are at work. Some of you are at work. Why are you there? Why? Do you really want to be at work right now? Are you enjoying your work? Uh, or you have to be there, and you are looking for lunchtime now, and then you are looking the cutoff time like 4:35, and you are looking forward to that, or you are looking forward to work. If you are in this session, why you are in this session? What is the reason? Are you here because you have to be here, or you are really here because you want to understand and give your perspective about change? You want to share your ideas and learn from other people's ideas. What is the motivation? So this perspective is a beautiful word, Marshall. I really like it. Perspective is everything. It's the same thing, and people are perceiving it differently. Same thing. You watch a movie with family, and everyone is perceiving different takeaway lessons from that movie. You can experiment that. Uh, Different personalities. Two friends, they are together. One friend like X person, the other friend don't like that X person. Their perspective, they are friends, but still their perspective can be different, how they are viewing the situation. So that is very interesting, Marshall. Like, you want to bring some change or something, you would really want to understand the perspective, uh, perception about change, all of this. And Osborne is saying, very interesting, find out what the change entails. Okay, what is new? How does it differ from the old? That is very interesting. Like, you are used to do things in a particular way, and then new thing is there. So when that new thing is there, how it is different from the old, how you are going to adjust? Do you think you should adjust to that, or no? Let's say you are not used to speaking in the session, and then you have to speak. So this is a big change for someone who is not very vocal. It's a big change, it's a shift, and everyone want to be there. So everyone is comfortable in their comfort zone. So how to bring that, how to accommodate them? And then change would take time. So this is very interesting, how it differs from the old. That is very interesting. You might want to spend some time, and then, because if it is totally different, totally something new, then the chance is that people are maybe going to resist it. Generally speaking, people resist change. They like to remain in their comfort zone. They like to do the things the way they have been doing the things. They want to continue that and all of that. So this is very nicely you guys have, without even reading the chapter. I'm assuming no one has started reading the reading the chapter. But so this is the nature of change. It is complex, it is dynamic. uh, there are status quos. People are used to do things in a certain way. You are going to challenge them when you are going to tell them, don't do it like this. This is the new way of doing things. They might not like it, they might resist you. You would have to go through all of that cycle using different techniques, and then maybe change will happen. Yeah. So and think about it. Mm, we are mixing the change of like individual and changing someone else. So even to change yourself, think about it. Have you tried to change any habit in yourself? Please, if someone can give some example that, uh, think about something, some habit, some routine which you changed in your or challenges you are facing in bringing that change in habits or in discipline or in anything in personal life or at work or school, anything on that. Yeah, New Year resolutions. That's what very good. We make all of us, almost all of us in, maybe not all of us, but many people make New Year resolutions. What are they? They say, all right, we are going to do these things on 1st of January. That level of energy which you put in those New Year resolutions, that is different. And today maybe maybe most of the people forget about it. They say, well, never mind. Yeah. But anyways, let's come back to the question I'm trying to ask. Please assist in the discussion. Open your mic and say something like, I'm asking you guys, uh, is there anything you want to change in yourself or in others? Were you successful when you made some change? Or tell us some story of some change where you are not successful, it did not work, why it worked if it worked, why it did not work if it did not work, so we can understand the nature of change and so on. Yes, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon. So
Hi.
it was a case where, well, it's not really what I'm going to change, but what I have changed. So I had an attitude towards online classes. I thought it was hard. I didn't want to go. Every time I'm supposed to get up to log into my class, I would complain, and I had to change my whole mindset, and that leading to me changing. I had to change my environment. So I had to
Mm,
get out of my room, set up a whole complete area, get a new table, new space,
mm,
everything to start working, and after a while it started working. I got more comfortable. This time I wanted
mm,
to go to class. I was always early for class. I was
mm,
motivated to learn. So I realized that I just need to get things to motivate me. So I said, okay, I just need a pretty desk then, or
mhm,
I need a new table lamp, or I need a pretty cup to
mhm.
put on my table to drink out of my glass. So
Yeah,
I would do these little
yeah,
things that motivate
yeah,
me so I can,
yeah,
be more
yeah.
focused. And it worked. It really did.
Yes, excellent, excellent, Abby. And all of us can relate with that, and all of us love that example. Very good, useful, and you explained it in a very nice way. One thing which I really liked what Abby said was environment. Like, environment is in this example, at least, environment can play a very big role. Where are you? Because it can help you motivate and pay attention to what is happening, and it gives you in that mindset environment. And also how you are dressed, what are you wearing. If you are in your whole demeanor changes with what clothes you are wearing, where you are sitting, how you are sitting. So if one of some friends, I'm sure they are in bed right now, yes, so they are. So what is their posture? They are maybe lying down or relaxed environment, and that, so in that, mind works in a different way. But if you are sitting in a chair, it is going to work in a different way. If you are sitting in a dark room where it's a little space and there is not enough air going through and ventilation is not there and this kind of closed space, it is different. But same day, if you sit in a garden, open space, go on road, and you just sit outside somewhere, and then you just put your earphones and you just listen, and it changes everything. So these things, which Abby explained, like environment and the little things she did to motivate it, that is, I think, I would take away that. Another point, was not comfortable with the online thing. What is happening here? I can't see people, I can't, interact in the way I used to. What is going on? I'm not enjoying it. And that resistance, and in that resistance, the complaint attitude, and not all of us. It's not just she. Most of people, they were in that in that I would say mindset. Because why? Because they are changing. They are changing something which they are used to, that is being changed. For those people, like COVID-19, for those people who are not outside most of the time, and partying and going on road and all the time, and staying at home, for those people it is relatively, it's not easy for anyone, but relatively it is easy for them to stay at home because they were not going anywhere before, so they say this is fine, no problem. They were out and about all the time on the road, going here, going there, going to, parties, eating out, whatever, whatever people do. For them, it was more challenging. Yeah. So uh, these type of things you would want to maybe think about. And from these examples, a couple of friends have mentioned there, in the chat also, Abby gave a verbal example. But same way, you need to think about the changes you went through in your life, at work, in school, in your personal life, at home, and then try to think about, try to understand the nature of change. In other words, try to understand that how a person moves, what stages person moves from when they go in the change. So it's the same thing. In the early days, if the thing is new and you don't have that perspective and you don't agree with what is happening, of course you are going to resist. You are going to say, what is happening here? I don't like it. It is not what I'm used to. Yes, all of that is going to come here. Yeah, so that is true for all. Even at work, your boss tells you do it like this, you might have to do it because they are your boss, but in your heart you will resent it. When you will resent it in your heart, it is going to show somewhere. You might never say it because you are not in the situation to rebel or say, because you have your bills or whatever, and the reason for your work is to get some money and, get on with your life expenses and whatever. So you might not, but you will resent it. If you will resent it, you are not happy about. So if you are at work and you are not happy there, think about it. It is going to impact your organization, your colleagues, and your own life also. Because if you are not happy from the morning, as the thought comes, you have to go to work, you are not going to like it. So that you might not say it verbally, but it will impact so many things in life. Yeah. So this is the nature of change, essentially. So on the other hand, whenever you are going to go in change, or whenever you are going to, yes, on and off my internet, I think I lose it. So at that time I stop and then start again. So you are not really missing anything. So what was I saying? Yeah, I was saying that uh, when you are asking someone to change, that change might be very easy for you. Like you say, start doing this. Start. Don't stay in bed when you are when you are in when are in online class. Come out that, something like that. Yeah. So it might be very easy for you because maybe you are, it's easy for you, but maybe for someone else it is not that easy. They are more, they don't see the point. They don't have that perspective. They say, well, if I'm in bed, what is the problem? And if I'm on the chair, what is the problem? And it doesn't really matter. If that is how they are thinking, then how you are going to change that, change the person? it is not going to happen unless you really motivate them, really help, not really motivate all. Yeah. So, and how much time it will take to make someone understand even a minor thing like that. Yeah. Because everyone has their own way of thinking, pattern of thinking, and with the pattern we mean that people go back again to same type of thinking routines even after changing a little bit. This is a pattern. Yeah, like you must have seen people break up and then they go back to their ex. Yeah. So what is that? That is pattern. So it is the same thing with the habits. You have a habit, you break it up, but then you go back to your habit. So if you understand the nature of change, then you would appreciate and realize that this is going to happen. So you won't be very mad about it when you are going back to the habit. You will understand that this is the nature of change. This is the nature of change. So I have to go through that. I have to go through that. Yeah. So then you will be more persistent. You will not give up after initial failures. Yeah. You will continue again and again to bring that change. Yeah. So I can, Abby told her example. I can tell you my example also. For example, this I consume a lot of Pepsi, Coke, these sodas. I'm kind of addicted to those. I have to have it again and again. And I know very clearly that it is not good for for the person, for the body, for the mind, for the teeth. It has no benefit. It has so much sugar, so it is not good. But I can't just so I stop many times and then I go back and then stop and go back and stop and go back. And yeah. So even a person who maybe have a little understanding of change management and maybe have read one or two books or whatever, even that person can struggle with change, because all of us are what are we? We are our habits. A person who wakes up early morning, 5 a.m. is not necessarily they are a good that is a good person. It is their habit. This is what they are doing. And a person who maybe who stay and and attend an on attend some online class, it is not necessary that they are going to fail or they are not going to perform. It has no connection. Habits are very, very strange. A person can have one habit which is not good, but then some other habit is there which is linked with discipline, and then they are doing good in life. And you can look around, you would see almost everyone, they have couple of bad habits. No one is really perfect. Yeah. But then they have some type of discipline. I think someone mentioned it uh, in the chat, I think, discipline. So think about it. And good examples. uh, Yeah, so Amani is saying that, you are in bed, so that's your environment. So then, it's easy for you to fall asleep. Yes, very easy. That is what the bed is for, to go on and on sleep. So it is made in a way that you go on it and you feel like sleeping. Yeah. So environment, that you can think about, and other persons are can relate with that. The book is on the RVLE. Please look at it and look for the name and whatever. Okay, so this is what I think you should do. Just reflect in your own life, see what type of changes you have gone through, what worked for you, what did not work for you. Make some type of journal, some notes. Different things work for different people. It's not one thing which is going to work for everyone. But the things which we try to discuss so far, those are kind of common themes uh, in any change situation. environment, perspective, discipline, going back to it again and again. So in all of this, what can help? In all of this, in all of this drama, what can really help? Some of the things can help. For example, your how high is your motivation to do something? How high it is? What is the level of the drive? How high is the drive to accomplish something? Yeah. How much you are willing to give for that change? How much you can sacrifice for that change? Yeah. For example, there are many people around the world and even in Jamaica. We have many people who were not financially good. They were kind of poor, but then in 20 years, 30 years, they changed their class, and they from nobody they became somebody. Yeah, because different fields, not just business, different fields, journalism, sports, different fields. Yeah, law, different fields. Yeah, but they gave up so many things. Like, again, it is linked with one pointer one friend mentioned, discipline. That is again very, very important. But then and discipline is something which you can think about this in this way also, that you're not going to find any successful person who is not disciplined in one way or another. You might not see it from outside, but if you look in their life, you will find some form, some shape of discipline. Any successful person. Yeah. And why do we go for change? No one wants to change to become a worse person. Everyone aspire, at least they are successful or not, that is different, but everyone wants to be in a better position. If I ask you, all of you want to pass the course. No one wants to fail. Most of you would want to get better grade. Why not? Why not a 70? Why not a 80? Why not a 90? Everyone want to do that. But then look at in your life and look at the things which you will have to do if you want to score, let's say, 80. What are the things you would have? You would have to read the books. You would have to maybe think about these things. You would have to prepare. You would have to listen to the recordings. You would have to look at PowerPoints, participate in discussion, do the coursework, do the finals, all of this. It's a lot of. So in doing that, you would be sacrificing some other activities, maybe sleeping less, maybe getting more focus, maybe whatever, discipline, or whatever you want to call it. So all of that sacrifice you would have to give. So how many would be willing to give that sacrifice? Everyone would want a high score, but how many are willing to give, to change their habits which match with that result? Not many, not many. It's just like everyone would want to be rich, but not everyone is going to uh, try to bring those habits, change your habits which are stopping them from their whatever goal it is, being it rich, being it getting high score, whatever. And I gave you my example also, like healthful life. I would want a healthful life. Yeah. But if I am consuming a lot of soda, uh, right now nothing will happen maybe, but in the long run, uh, in the 40s, in the 50s, in the 60s, if I go that far, so I will have to. There is cost for everything. Yeah, you might not see it in the short run, but so you want healthy lifestyle in your 40s or wherever you are. For most of you, maybe 30s, you want that. But so if you are not doing, if you are not taking certain habits, then it can. So there is a it's very easy to discuss. This is what I am trying to say. It's very easy to discuss change in this type of environment. but to really implement it, a lot of things go behind it. And most of the time, people are not willing to give that much effort. It is not that change is not possible. Of course, it is possible, but it takes a lot of energy, effort, systematic methods, and then you go back to your old behaviors. And then you have to bring yourself out of that. So it's a depending on how engraved the habits are in you, it can be more and more challenging. Yeah. So so I have to think about these things. So just see, this is just the name of the, just trying to discuss the name of the chapter, the nature of change. What is the nature of change? So please spend some time on thinking about it, make your own notes and try to reflect on it. Yeah. Don't just, we're not doing the course for the course sake, or to gain marks or whatever. You will gain marks, don't worry about that. It's not a difficult course at all. But what we really want to do is we want to really understand the dynamics of change, because no matter which area for yourself, whatever career you select, you go in any career, you go in any field, you are in marketing, advertising, or you start your own business, whatever, or you don't do anything, you are very rich and you don't have to do anything and just enjoy, still you would have to go through changes in your life. So while to understand the dynamics of change, I think that is where we should focus, and focus of our energies and our minds, sharing our thoughts with each other, what works, what does not work, what do we think, and that type of environment if we can create, I think that would be the ideal situation. Look at this now. Yeah. So again, I'm not reading the book or anything like that with you guys. I'm just, you have to read all of the book, this book and the other prescribed text, and the videos are already posted for that. I did the same thing for that book also, and those videos are posted, so you can start looking at that in your pace. Yeah, whenever you are in that mood and in that vibe. Yeah. So for example, this word futurologist. Yeah. So learn about that. What is futurologist? Who are these people? Yeah. So these are the people who look at the future. Yeah. In an organization, in an industry, what would be the future like? So for example, education. So I'm in education industry. So what is the future of education? How it will transform. We are gone in online. What are the positives? What are the negatives? How we can mitigate the negatives? All of those, that debate. What are the positives of this versus traditional learning? What is learning? Can people learn through lectures? If I'm lecturing you, like, if I'm just talking and you are not, I don't know where your mind is, will you learn? Will you learn? Just if I say something, just by listening to me, will you learn? Yeah, this is a very interesting question. That, like, I'm talking about nature of change and I'm telling you this is what it is about. So, but will you learn, like, from that? How people learn? Yeah. So generally speaking, people learn from their own experiences. If they learn, some people don't even learn from their own experiences. So if people don't even learn from their experiences and make same mistakes again and again, how do we think that by listening to or by taking a course in change management, people will learn all of the tricks of change and they will become change managers? It's not going to happen like that. It's a slow, for some people it might happen, but for most of the people it does not happen like that. Yeah. For most of the people, they struggle with change initiative. Most of the people, very few people embrace change in all domains of their life. Maybe some people embrace change at work, but they don't embrace change from their partner or their child or their parents, like family members. They don't embrace that change. some people are good in that type of change, but they don't. They are not good in change initiatives at work. Some people try to lead their own change initiative. They don't like when other people tell them to change this and change that. Some people are like that. Some people like to take counsel. They ask other people, okay, I'm going through this. What should I do? So for example, Tanisha Lewis, she said, when I was talking about, I think, Pepsi and soda, she said, she can relate with that. So maybe she's also trying to quit. So I can now ask her that, what works for you? What works, what does not work? Can you share some things which worked for you in quitting sodas? Or soda it's not just, so it's like sugary things, like chocolate is also included in that. And see, I should not have taken these names. Now I am craving for a chocolate. And I'm sure maybe at least one or two, because I said this and it is lunchtime now, maybe one or two people are, if they are into sugar and those type of things. Sweet tooth, yes, some people call it that. So they are now, their mind, instead of thinking about change management, my mind is gone into some nice chocolate and that type of thing. See, so this is, need to think about these things. So let me come back to futurologists. So this word I was trying to say that, read future studies in your field. You are trying to bring some change. Let's say you are in banking industry. You are in banking industry, for example. So think about, read the future studies on bank. In other words, what would be the future of banks? How banks are going to operate in the future, in next 5 years, in next 7 years, whatever is the time frame you want to look at. And then prepare yourself for that future. So let's say you want to work, you are undergrad, so you want to work in a bank. So you would want to know how banks would operate in next 5 years, 3 years, 4 years, globally, and how banks would operate in Jamaica. What are the new things happening in the banks? What are the new type of jobs which are being created in the banks, which were not there before? In almost all industries, new type of jobs are being created. Yeah, yeah. For example, programmers. Yeah, so different type of programmers. With programmers, it's not just the computer science languages. You might want to learn other things. For example, blockchain is coming, for example. Internet of age, age of Internet of things, IoT, that is coming. Artificial intelligence is coming. Robotics is coming. More and more technology is coming. Yeah. Most of the banks, they are doing these type of transformation efforts, bringing more and more technologies. Yes, COVID-19 fastened the process, but they were going to do it anyways. Yeah, this online learning which we are doing, this was going to come anyways. It came earlier than people expected in developed countries because of COVID-19. But in other universities, they were doing on the perception, as one friend said, Abby said, the perception was that what is this online learning? Because we never tried it. But now we tried it. We know that of course, there are some disadvantages. No one is saying everything is good, but but there are many advantages. Just like you guys, where someone is at home, someone is in Portmore, someone is somewhere else. Yeah, someone is at work, someone is whatever. So there is advantage also, but someone can look at it as a disadvantage also. Yeah. So that is now linked with perception. Yeah, everyone's perception is different. One friend was mentioning that. So what I'm trying to say is that, read those type of future studies and look for the skills which would be required, let's say in banking, and then start preparing yourself for that job market. So if you want to become a banker, as in bank also there are different jobs, or you want to become a marketer, or you want to become whatever, data scientist you want to become, whatever you want to become. What is the future of that industry in terms of what would be the skills required, and then start preparing yourself with those skills. This is something which no one is going to do for you. University is not going to do it for you. Your courses are not going to do it for you, because courses are set in a certain way. Many of them courses around the globe, they don't necessarily bring a lot of change or try to improve it with the modern times. Mostly they are using, older content, and they are not updating or whatever. Generally speaking, this is happening in universities across the globe. You can check that. And then the the people who are conducting the courses, they are not all of them are motivated. Yes, that is also true. Just like you guys, many of you are working and you are not motivated to do your job, and you are not interested in that. Same way, there are many lecturers who are not motivated, and then there are many students, many participants just like you. Are all of you motivated? No, not. It's not possible. All of you are not motivated. Someone are just, don't care. Some are. Yeah. So this is how it is. So you would have to, if you want to become a successful banker or whatever it is, you would have to look at future studies. You would have to identify what are the skills which will be required in the job market, and then you would have to start preparing for those skills. Yes, in that someone can guide you, of course, but majority of the research work you would have to do, so you have a little background, and then you can talk with people who know that industry, and then exchange ideas that, okay, this is what I'm thinking. If I have these skills, then in next 3 years, 4 years, 2 years, when I graduate, I would be in a better shape to land a job. What do you think? And then they can tell you, they can correct you, or they can second you, whatever. So that, but people don't do it. Why people don't do it? It is not that they don't want to do it. It is just no one tells them to do it. That is one. And even if someone tells them, they think that it is not important, because we will have a bachelor's degree and we'll just go there and someone will take us, and I know that person and I have links and I will land a job and something will happen. And that type of attitude is also there. Yeah. So many things are linked. So in that, I think to understand dynamics of change, and I used your personal example, like you would want to change your maybe, that bring the bring the direction of your career in your own advantage. So you are trying to change the direction of career from a regular undergraduate. You are bringing it to a more positive side. So if you want to bring it to a more positive side, you might, this is one technique which you can do, but it takes time, it takes effort. And then it goes back to the earlier discussion which we were having, that because so much work is involved, then people would not do it. And this is true for majority of change situations. uh, if I would have to bring it in one line or two lines, I would say, because the change requires a lot of effort, many times people stop, not because they necessarily want to stop, but many times they are tired, and many times the motivation is low and they are drained, and they say, okay, all right, I tried my best. But to bring change, just trying your best is not enough. That is the pointer I was trying to make. So with that background and the things I was, you would have to do these, would have to think about these things. And then if you get stuck or something, you can always, reach out to me, or um, you can pose some questions in the discussion, in the session, and all of us can try to, do that. This is a nice exercise 1.1. Is the nature of change changing? Is the nature of change changing? Page 3. Yeah. you would want to do it in your in your in your own time. Yeah. Some words are being used in the in the in the book, so don't don't get worried if you don't understand any word. Run a Google search on it and try to link it with the things which I have mentioned so far in today's discussion. And please remember, you are not just, even if you are coming to classes, you are not just listening to this. The recordings are posted for the prescribed text and the slides. I'm not repeating those. Yeah. So because we will expand on what is already posted on RVL. So in your own time, you have to pay attention to what we do in the sessions, and then you have to pay attention to what is posted and go through that. Yeah. So you would have to start from now, I think. Otherwise, as the time, before it is midterm, and before semester is over. Yeah. But if you start, if you have a pace and you do week by week the activities, what is posted, things to watch and think about, then I think you will be fine. So, for example, these type of words, transience, novelty, diversity. Yeah. So try to think about these things as you read on these pointers. They have tried to explain it in the book. Like, try to think about your own change examples, and then try to, in your own examples which you have experienced in terms of change. And because of this recent COVID, all of us have definitely gone through some type of major shift in at home or at work or at school or somewhere. So we have change examples, but the thing is to apply these words in the change. So where was novelty, where was diversity? How, for example, if someone asks, what is the role of diversity in managing change, how would you respond to that? Yeah. Um Anyone can respond to that? Diversity. This is a word. Diversity. You must have heard it. It's a common word. Culture should be diverse, organizational. You should have ability to work with diverse people at work and that type of thing. So diversity. If someone asks you how diversity can be helpful in managing change, how would you respond to that? Anyone would want to give it a try, please? And don't worry if you are wrong. Is most likely you will not be wrong. It is my job to ensure that I ensure you that you are not wrong. You are right. Yeah. Come on, guys. You have 30 people out there. No one have anything like diversity. Yeah. So Amani is saying, what is the question? Yeah. So maybe she was in her bed and she went to sleep and now she's up. So no problem. So I'm repeating my question for you guys. Please listen to the question. Yeah. And try to think about it and try to say something. Yeah. So diversity. Yeah. This word diversity I have highlighted. So I'm saying, if someone asks you that what is the importance of diversity in change management, or how diversity can help in managing change, or how diversity is important in managing change, anything on those lines. What is the link between diversity and change management? Yeah. How would you respond from your experiences? Do you think that diversity helps in managing change, or do you think it does not help? If you think it helps, how it helps? If you think it does not help, what is the hindrance, what is the obstacle? Yeah. So anyone can give some point on that, and it's okay if no one can really, but I hope you are at least thinking in your head how the link is there. So for example, let me link it with the pointers you made already. So one friend was talking about perception, perspective, from where the person is coming from. Yeah, you remember that point? One friend made that beautiful point. So How do you get that perspective? How do you get different perspectives? How do you understand other people's situations? How do you build empathy? How do you understand where the other person is coming from? How do you understand other people's point of view? There are many techniques, of course. One of the technique is diversity. Yeah, for example, if you are engaging with diverse cultures, people coming from diverse backgrounds, you have uptown friends and you have downtown friends and you have friends who who are abroad from Jamaica, for Jamaican and gone to foreign US, and you are in touch with them and you know what their problems are. Of course, everyone wants to go foreign, but please be rest assured they have their own set of problems. Yeah, so you have some friends and you are they are telling you, okay, well, yes, it is good here, but these are the challenges. And then you have some friends who are maybe a little older than you, and then then they have graduated from UV but they are not employed, so you are talking with them also and you are saying, okay, why you did not get job, what is happening? And they are saying, oh, this is the problem, or maybe I don't have enough experience, and they are asking for experience. Or maybe, my GPA is low and the jobs are less and they are just taking more people with GPA, or maybe I was not able to answer the interview questions and these type of questions they were asking. So see, all these type of things are going to. This is what is this? This is diversity, as Williams is saying, greater range of talent, product to choose from. Yeah, that this is what diversity is. So you have range of different, people. Or this is also right. Product is also right. Talent is also right. Yeah, you have range. This is diversity. Experience is also right. You maybe you don't have other people, but you yourself have diverse experiences. You have done multiple internships. You have worked in a bank, you have worked a little bit in university, 2 3 months part-time jobs, and you did what is that, some friends, some participants go to overseas for work travel, I think, something like that. You guys would know that, work travel or something like that. Undergraduate students go for summer and they work and they also earn something like that. So they have that experience also. So what is that? It is bringing them a diverse experience. So in that way, diversity is going to help manage change. This is one way to understand it. There are so many other ways. As you will read the book, you will understand so many other ways to think about that. This, for example, if there is a problem and you are solving it alone and you come up with the solution, before you implement that solution, you pose that problem to your parents, to your friend, in your circle, in your network. Different type of people are there. You just pose that problem. Okay, this is the problem, how should I solve it? You will see that people from different backgrounds are giving you different, opinions. They are saying, oh, you can do that, oh, you can do that, you can do that. So what is that? Because you have diverse talent, as Williams is saying, diverse people. Yeah, so you are asking them the same question and they are giving you different feedback, and from that feedback, now you can decide what you, of course, everyone is going to give you opinion based on their experiences. You have to see in your life what works and what does not work. Everyone's life is different, and your own capabilities and your own skills, so many things you have to factor in. But what I'm trying to say, that if you pose a question to multiple people, then different things come up. This is the power of diversity. You can see it in the chat also. I pose simple question and see, people are not giving same answers. Someone is talking about X thing, other person is talking about Y thing, next person is talking about Z thing. Yeah, all of you are from same culture, same country, most likely. Yeah, yeah, but still, maybe most of us are from the same socioeconomic background, more or less, give and take. Yeah, still giving different type of answers. So this is the power of diversity. So in change management, it becomes, it helps, it can help you there. On the other side, you can also, just like anything in life, there are positives and there has to be some negative also. There is nothing in life which has just positives. There has to be some negative or con to it. So you can, if there is too much diversity, then there can be too much conflict also. You have seen it in your group works, when you do group works, especially now online. uh, Even before online, when we had group works, there were problems like, some people would work in a group, other people would not work in the group, all those challenges, how to decide the meeting time, what whose point of view to take, whose point of view to reject. All those things happen in your group work. You have seen that. In online, the challenges can be even more difficult. Yeah. So that is diversity. But on the other hand, if you don't have diversity of coursework and it is just you have to do all of the coursework, then it is relatively easier for you. You can decide how you want to do it, when you want to do it, how much effort you want to put in. There are not other peoples you want to bring on board. It is individual group, individual work. So you will just do it. Yeah. But overall, they are saying that diversity, yeah, these are the future. You will have to read about that. Three related trends: transience, novelty, diversity. So I try to say a couple of things about diversity. Novelty, what is novelty? You guys know that. If don't know, please run a Google search. Novelty, how novelty helps in change management, or how it is linked with change management. Novelty, what is novelty? Novelty is newness. Anything new is novel to you. So those type of things you would want to think about. So, but a couple of things I want to highlight in transience. So of course you will read all of it, but pay attention to, for example, this is number one is things. So in the things, technical advances increase the rate of obsolescence. Technical advances. So technical advances on one hand important. On one hand, they helps. Uh, One of the person also mentioned something about technology, if you guys remember in the discussion. But there is also this point that technical advances increase the rate of obsolescence, because new and new things keep on coming. Think about it. You buy a cell phone, and then after 6 months, 8 months, there is a better model or something like that, and no one is looking at your cell phone because everyone is talking about new cell phone. So what is that? Now you don't like your cell phone anymore because you want to get the next one, and then you get the next one, and then again after 6 months, 8 months, some new type of thing comes, and then you say, well, I want that. So I'm not talking about you, but generally speaking, you would see that people keep on changing their cell phones again if they can. Some people don't, of course, but many people do that. So what is that? That is technical advances increases the rate of obsolescence. So think about it in a company settings also. Yeah. And then they are talking about places, people, organizations, for example, number 4, this one. Yeah. This is page number 4. Yeah. So look into this. Accelerating change has created the need for continuous organizational development and renewal. Yeah. This point, I like this point, so I thought should discuss it a little bit more. Not that I don't like the other points, but you need to read whole book. I'm just highlighting some points because I want you to read in your own time. Accelerating change has created the need for continuous organization development and renewal. So this word is very interesting. Continuous. So continuously in the organization you are looking at the development and renewal. Yeah, because of the nature of change. Remember the chapter's name is nature of nature of nature of change. What is all the hype about? Chapter number 1. Yeah. So because the pace of change is so accelerated, It would need the continuous organizational development and continuously you are revising, renewing continuously. It is not that you have revised and renewed and now you just sit back and relax. You can't do that, especially in organizational settings, because you have competition. If you just relax, your competition is going to make the next product, and the consumer is going to shift to that. You have to look at the future reports, future, where the future of the industry is, what are the things people, consumers are going to like in the future, and then develop your organization in the same way. It is a continuous thing. There is no rest in it. Yeah, you are looking at development and renewal again and again. Yeah. And this point, of course, ideas. This is very close to my heart, at least ideas. I feel that, and I'm sure you would agree. I hope you would agree that the life is all about ideas. Um, Everything we are doing, it is based on some type of idea. Wherever you are sitting, wherever you are, in whichever environment you got that idea that I should be in that type of environment right now. The things I'm discussing with you, the pointers you are making, all of those are ideas. So that is very much linked with change management and transients. Yeah, please look into that. And there's a nice figure here, figure, because picture, it is easy to understand in pictures sometime. Yeah, so this is on page number 6, figure 1.1. So look for figure 1.1 on page number 6. Pattern of industry or product category evolution. Yeah, so this scale is time, as you see, time. Yeah, and then level of activity in a product category. Yeah, so new product, services, experimentation and slow growth, then product acceptance and dominance, rapid growth, product is accepted in the market and the people are buying it, mature product, slow or little growth, and then either decline of old or the emergence of new products. You must have seen the similar type of pictures in, let's say, your marketing course, like the product life cycle, maturity, growth, all those type of things that look a little different, but it is talking about the same concept linked with time. Look at the x-axis, time. Yeah. Another interesting pointer on these pages is incremental change. Yeah, so this is very interesting point. Incremental change, should the change, how you should manage change. What do you guys think? Give me some pointers. Do you think that change is, we can be more successful if you do it in incremental way, in a step by step way, like slowly, 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 step one, step two, that would be incremental, in stages? Or do you think that we should just impose the change right away and tell people, okay, this is the new norm, you have to do it like this from now on? That is also like a sudden quick shift in change. Or you think, from your experiences, you think incremental, step by step type of change is good? Yeah. So for example, job is saying, it depends on the situation and who is involved, of course. So give some examples that, okay, in this type of situation we should have incremental, step by step change, and in this type of situation we should do it quickly, sudden. Yeah, so try to give some example and maybe talk about it. Yes, someone has raised their hands. Please go ahead.
Yes, sir. I think that it is best to do it in stages. You'll find that people don't like to be told what to do. So instead
Hmm.
of just rushing them into something and saying, hey, you know what, it is just this way, you're going to have to adapt to it. We,
Hmm.
do it in stages, take our time and explain the situation to them, and then you say, okay, let's take a little step towards going
Hmm.
there, and allow
Hmm.
them to feel out the situation. And once it's something that
Hmm.
they see that it's good, or once they
Mm,
get used to it, then they will be motivated then to take another step forward. So
mm,
you find people don't like to be told what to do, and oh, don't tell me I have to do this, or I have to or I have to do that. But if you do it in stages, push it on them a
mm.
little, step by step, then you find that they be more inclined to adapt.
Very, very interesting and very nicely Abby has explained us that, why? Because people don't want to be rushed, generally speaking. So if you can take this strategy which Abby has mentioned, then maybe you will win their hearts and they will see why they have to do it. And then if they can see, they will be motivated and they won't be frustrated and they would be part of decision making in some way or another. So it might help the change process. This is one way to think, but I'm not taking away from our friends who mentioned in the chat, Gentles and Kevin. They are saying it depends on the situation and who is involved. This is very interesting. Who is involved? What is the personality of the people who are involved? And that is the same thing Abby was also saying if you think about it. Yes, Tanisha, please.
Sir, I was just thinking in terms of the opposite. When it's a sudden change, we can
Yeah,
think of the whole COVID situation, which was sudden,
yeah,
and we had to make the
yeah,
change whether we wanted to or not. So, like Kevin and Jovan said, it depends on the
yeah,
situation. It depends on the
yeah.
situation, and so I really think there's a difference. It really depends on the situation.
It depends on the very, very interesting point again. So Tanisha is giving example of COVID. Let's say that in the COVID thing, people had to adjust quickly, and we have seen that countries where they were kind of relaxed and they did not took quick action. For example, United Kingdom, England, they were kind of so now we are seeing what is happening there. But this is a mix and match type of situation as I am reflecting on what you guys are saying, because Abby mentioned this point that if you just tell people to do something, then they might resist the change and they might not support you in the way. So even in the situation which you want in which you want them to take steps very quickly and you want them to change in a quick fashion, even in those situations, a good speech, a good motivation speech, why we need to do it and why we have less time to do it. Like the role of leader becomes very important. Just like I would say that in these times we had a good prime minister who the way he conducted his speeches and how he was telling the people and how they whatever they did, more or less it worked, and our country is not affected so much in the way like other countries got impacted. So what type of things are being said, they are also important. And another thing is that you might tell the people that do it like this, and they will have to do it like that maybe. But this point which Kevin is saying, that who is involved, what type of people are involved. Like in some countries, the culture is that people are okay with if the government says, they kind of support it and they don't go and do their own thing. But in the other countries, the people are different. So it's a cultural understanding of of the environment that would become very important. Or in other words, in simple words, who is involved? It's a very simple line. It's a very simple line, but it's very useful line. Who is involved? What type of person they are? How? Because you're going to approach the 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 people, understanding their positives and negatives, what they like and dislike, and all of that. And for that, I would say the example of Italy, for example. The top management, the prime ministers and the people in charge, they said very clearly that don't do this and don't do that. But people were maybe not listening, and they still wanted to party and breaking the curfew and all of that. And so what is the how the people are, that also. So for example, when when the curfews were announced, especially in the initial days, um, our people, they tried their best to, more or less, generally speaking, people were abiding by the they were abiding the law, and they were doing as told. But yes, of course, there were parties also going on after curfew and so on, and then the police did whatever they could. But more or less, our culture demonstrated that people, generally speaking, they understand the COVID situation, and whatever, maybe the fear was there, fear factor that I might get COVID. What is, because we saw in other countries what happened there, so maybe we were afraid of that, or maybe we were just listening to the government. I don't know, with different, for different people it is different. So generally speaking, that helped, that that these things you would have to think about. So then what to do? On one way, Abby saying that do it incremental, step by step, bring people on board, motivate them, all of that. And Lewis and other friends, like, they are saying that uh, they have a little different point of view. So in generally speaking, of course it depends, but what should be the, if we don't know the situation and we don't know who are involved, what can we say? So I would like to say, maybe, and you can have your own opinions on these things. My point is as good as yours. I'm talking from my experience, you are talking from your experience. There is no one way to manage change. So uh, my point, anything I will say throughout the course, it is not binding at all. You can debate it, and you can think in your own atmosphere what works and what does not work. I would say that, like, yes, it depends on situation, but still give a little bit time to people, even if it is one day, even if it is 12 hours, even if it is 10 hours, even if it is 1 hour, even if it is 5 minutes, to bring them on board that, okay, this is what we are doing. What do you think about it? That I just have 5 minutes before I implement my decision. What is your point of view? What do you think? Depending, people are not hostile, of course. If people are hostile, they might say bad things to you, and if you are in a management position, you don't want that also. But giving them as much as possible, if the situation allows you, give them a chance to come on board, because when you are doing that, you are they will help you in the change management, because they will feel that they are part of change management. Otherwise, generally speaking, generally speaking, people don't like that if someone just tell them and they have to do it. They will do it because they have to do it. Like, you will do the coursework because you have to do it. You will do the final exam because you have to do it. So in some situation it is different. And let me think of some examples, like in some jobs, for example, army, defense, JDF, police, JCF, these type of jobs. These type of jobs require that when your boss tell you to do something, you should do it right away without asking questions and whatever, because it is law and order and all of those things. So you are the officer, you have 10 people in charge, and you tell them, okay, do this. You are in the battleground. uh, uh, well, our army and defense and our JDF is not like, we don't have problems, that type of problems which other countries have, like wars and those type of things. We have crime internal, but not outside. We don't have that. We have smuggling and those things, but not country to country conflict where war is going on a heavy scale. We don't have that. So if a country is facing that, and then the junior officer are questioning why we should do it, the officer say, fire. And the officer says, well, I don't think we should fire. We should tell them, and this it's not going to work. It cannot work. Your officer tells you, your commanding officer tell you to fire, you need to fire. That's it. Just fire. Yeah, whatever instructions are given, you have to follow that right away, immediate actions. So those type of jobs are different. So in those type of jobs, this is the point which I wanted to make, is that when you are recruiting your human resource, you will look for certain characteristics in the individual, that this individual which we are putting in JDF or JCF or whatever, are they have that personality that they will immediately take action on whatever the superior tell them, or they have the personality they will start questioning. And so these exams are there for all different type of jobs. In those they check this. So a person who is like questioning and arguing and those type of things, they're not going to land in a good army, in I'm not saying our army is not good. Of course JDF is very good and effective, but because we don't have wars with other countries, so our army is not maybe trained in the way the other armies are trained, or the skills which they look in their army officers, because they have to fight on a different scale. It is just because of the nature of the war, or the zones they are in. So their exams are very rigorous. They look for these type of characteristics. In other words, as Kevin said, who is involved? I would i would look at this who. Yeah, the personal characteristics and all of those personality tests. And still they might hire some people who don't have those characteristics which they are looking for, but generally speaking, this is what they would look for. So think about this. It's a simple question: incremental change versus sudden change. And you guys have mentioned some pointers. I have shared my thought also with you. As you will read the chapter and listen to the other recordings, I have addressed this issue in other recordings also, which are posted on RBLE. So over a period of time, I would say, if you start this reading and watching recordings and so on, after like maybe, and you take interest in the material, I think in week 8, 9, after midterm, by that time you would have a broader maybe understanding. Not that we will know everything about change management, but a little broader understanding based on reading and asking questions and answering questions, listening to what other people say, how they respond. Uh, to the questions. You would develop your own understanding of these type of questions, like about diversity, about incremental change, about nature of change. And then you will go in workforce and you will implement the change in there. Most of the times you will fail. I think not because you cannot deal it, because majority of the change initiatives fail in the world. You can run a Google search, like the change initiative, global change initiative. How many are successful? Just run a Google search. You will know 60, 70, 80% of change initiatives, they fail because people are different. In a situation, someone would say, make it incremental change. Your colleague will say, no incremental, we don't have time for all of this. I don't have time to motivate people, and I don't have time to tell people, I have so much work already. I don't have time to win people's heart and mind, to convince them that why we need this change. I need workers who I just tell them do this and they just do it. Have not you seen those type of bosses who like the workers who just do without question? What about yourself? Do you like, which type of friends you like? You have different type of friends. Do you like the friends who you tell them to do something and they do it right away? I'm sure all of us have those, at least one friend like that. Yeah. So you tell them, let's go to movies. And he say, yeah, man, let's go. He's studying, but he will close his book. He say, yes, let's go. You tell them, whatever you tell them, they most of the times they do that. On the other hand, you have another friend and you tell them, they say, no, we can't do that. You say, let's go for Chinese food. He say, no, I don't like Chinese. Let's go for Indian food. And they have their own, they just try to do their own thing. Yeah. So what type of friend you like? What type of parents would you like? You would like like a mother or father who would, you tell them, "Mommy, I need this," and they say, "Sure, sure, you will get it," and you get it in the evening, and you have whatever you want, they just give you right away, and they are listening to you, and you say, "Mommy, I'm not coming home tonight. I'm going to, stay out all night and party." They say, "No problem, you can do that." Yeah. And you are just 16, 17. Yeah. Something like that. Yeah. It's different. On the other hand, other people, they, whatever you say, even if it is a legitimate request, like you say, I need this because of schoolwork or whatever, they say, "No, they have the money, but they say, we'll do it," and then they don't. What type of people you like? So generally speaking, people like people who listen to them and agree, agreeable people. No one likes people who are going to, not agree to what they are saying. If I make a point and you agree with that, well, my thing is different. I would want you to contest my idea. Like, I say something, I would want you to think on the different dimension also, and say, if I give you a pro of something, I would like to listen to some con to that. But generally speaking, people would, people like, "Yes, yes, sir, yes, yes, ma'am, yes, yes." People don't like no, 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 listening to no, no, no. So same is in for the bosses in the organization. They tell you to bring the change in a certain way, and they tell you, do step 1, step 2, step 3. If you try to bring your own thing every time, every now and then, it is fine. Every once in a while you can, maybe depending on the situation, and seeing, again, going back to what Kevin said, who is involved, depending on who is involved, what type of personality they have, every now and then maybe you can say it. But still, people generally speaking don't like to be contested. They And then there is politics in work, and people keep grudges, and people remember who opposed to their ideas, and then they might oppose. Different people are different. We are not talking about us. All of us are good people here. But generally speaking, the different type of people are there, so they might want to. So you have to think about all these things. And when you are thinking about all of these things and you are bringing change, of course, that is why the change initiatives fail, because it's just too much. Yeah. One way which you can deal with all of these issues, that, to me, I've been thinking about this for a while, and one way to deal with all these issues is that you get the right fit, right person for the right job. If you find the right person for the right job, that means that that person enjoys the job, that person want to improve their own performance in the job, they love the company, they like their salary, they like their environment, because they are the right fit for the right job. Because they are right fit, they are motivated to improve themselves, their organization, all of those things. And why do we bring change? We bring change to bring improvement, generally speaking. Yeah. At least that is the intention before bringing the change. What happens after change? Anything can happen, we don't know. Some change efforts backfire. You think of something, but it has a opposite or reverse impact that you can't really know. You can guess, you can predict, but it's just a prediction. It is a forecast. It can go opposite to what you thought also. But if you have a right fit for the right job, then, because you would change to make things better, that person is going to come on board themselves, because they want to improve their job, they want to learn new skills. uh, so for example, this this environment, if there is a course leader who want to improve their job, and they are motivated for them to learn the how to conduct the session in online environment. I'm not talking now it has been kind of a year or 9-10 months, so more or less all the course leaders have learned how to engage. But in the first, remember, the for March, April, May, that time. So people who were people who were really motivated to learn the new skills, for them it would have been maybe relatively easier to engage you guys in the session, because they were motivated, intrinsic motivation. They wanted to learn how to engage in an online environment, because they thought that it would help them also, because they can now reach out to other markets if it is online. They are not limited to just Jamaica. If it is online, it doesn't matter. You are conducting a session in Jamaica or in some country in Africa or Europe. Yeah. If you learn how to engage in an online environment, it will help you in that. So for that type of mentality, because that shows that they are the right fit for the job, although they did not know how to conduct session online before, they learned it quickly. Everyone will learn eventually. Now after 10 months, more or less, everyone has learned in one way or another, depending on their own, personality and whatever they are thinking. But it is also about learning quickly, learning fast, adapt. Everyone has to adapt eventually. Now all of us are here and not thinking that maybe online is not good, because we understand that this is what we have to do. This is the norm. We have to do it. We have this option. Either we can listen live, or we can get a recording or watch it later, something like that. But who were the people who immediately adapted? Are there any participants in this session that on the first day they did not complain, they did not think about any negative side, they said online it is? Maybe they did not really like it, but they just went for it because they understood that this is what they have to do. They don't have any option now. We can't go a traditional class. COVID is out. We have to stay at home or wherever, social distance. So it is online. They did not think about anything negative. They said, well, I have to do it, so I have to do it. Let me not think about anything negative. Let me just concentrate and make most of the situation in which I am in. Yeah. So if there are some friends in the class right now who are there any friends like that? I would like to know. Are there any friends who from the first day they said, all right, it is online. Maybe they did not like it. They did not know what it is about, but they just embraced it. They said, all right, this is what it is. I'm just going to go all in with the online thing. And just, yeah, maybe no one. Yeah. Yeah. So see how these things are linked. Yeah. It's very much these things are very much linked. Yeah. um, with the motivation of learning. Now you can of course no, no one was like that, but that in some way that also shows that what is the motivation level for for your learning. Are you really motivated to learn? This also answers that question. If it is a no there, then most likely the motivation level can be can be less. Yes, very good. Yes, Abigail is Jamar is extending hands of invitation to Abigail. So yes, all of us would like to be friends with each other. So that is nice. uh, Jamar is seeking some friendship. So if there are other people interested, they can also, Jamar, you are seeking just male friends or female friends? Because if you are seeking male friends, I can be your friend also. But depending on what is the motivation, uh, please become friends with each other and try to be nice and whatever is happening. Yeah. So incremental change, please think about this incremental and step by step. Of course, every situation you have to look at situation, so you would have to study deeply on that, in which situation incremental works, how you should go about incremental, what it really means, because it is just not step by step. There are so many other things linked with that. It's not just step by step. And sudden is also does not mean that it is sudden, like you don't tell anyone and just communication and all of those things. You would have to think about that. This is very nice picture you are seeing on screen. Look at this: time, intensity of change over time, intensity of change over time. So over time, see, people are dropping out, dropping out, dropping out, dropping out, dropping out, dropping. Yeah, why they are dropping out? Because of the nature of change, and that is the chapter, nature of change. Yeah. So please think about this is another discontinuous change. Yeah, discontinuous change. Yeah. You would want to look into Burke and Litwin. Transformational change, you must have heard this term in other courses. Yeah. It involves a break from the past. You give a break from the past. Yeah, break from the past. Uh, break from the past. I was giving you example of going back to your exes. uh, so one technique is people say that delete the numbers from phone, deactivate the accounts, Facebook and whatever. Don't go to the same places where the person is. Like all those, you guys would know that. I'm sure people can relate with that example. So it involves a break from the past. So that is what they are doing. Yeah, breaking from past. Different techniques uh, people use, and some people don't break with the past. They um, continue as friends or whatever. But then so both sides both have positives and negatives. So taking a break from the past, that is one technique in change management which you can think about. It is based on new relationships and dynamics within the industry. Yes, so you can think about that. Building new relationship, meeting new people. Uh, that type of activity can be taken. Uh, this line I liked. The kind of change involves doing things differently rather than doing things better. Yeah, this is very interesting line. If you can read this highlighted. This kind of change involves doing things differently rather than doing things better. So it is not about doing things better. It is about doing things differently, to break from the past, to break the routine. You're just trying out different things. And this is now linked with diversity. How do you know that what is better or not? You just by experiencing, having more experiences, you know that this thing is better than others. So like Burger King is, but what you prefer, KFC or Burger King? How do you know which one is better? One way is you just hear from people, and another way is that you experience both burgers or both foods, KFC and Burger King, and then you decide which one is better. But before you decide which one is better, you have to try doing things differently. You have to try KFC, you have to try Island Grill, you have to try Wendy's, you have to try all of these different fast food, and then you decide which one is. Yeah, so this one is interesting. This continuous change. Yeah. The consequence for individual and organizational changes. Yeah. In many work settings, people are being required to unlearn old ways and develop new competencies or get out. I really love this line. In many work settings, people are being required to unlearn old ways and develop new competencies or get out. Unlearning old ways and develop new competencies. Unlearn. You learned something, now you unlearn it. You take it out from your mind. How do you do that? Yeah. So you should read on that. Very interesting point. Uh, so before you learn, they are saying before you learn new habit, you have to unlearn the past habits. This is what they are saying. Yeah. Increasing levels of stress experienced by workers, and much attention has also been focused on those who believe the psychological contract between themselves and their organizations have been violated. All of these developments affect performance, commitment, and the physical and psychological well-being of uh, employees. Physical and psychological well-being of employees. Yeah, if they are not, if they are not motivated with the change, all of those things which we are talking about, it is going to have impact on physical and psychological well-being. Yeah, but they also create problems for managers and supervisors. So not just their own well-being, it give problem for the managers, because managers are saying why the person is not, listening to me, and what is happening, what is the problem with the manager or the supervisor, can I not motivate, why they are not listening to me. Some managers can ask that. On the other hand, some managers can think that the workers are not good and they should go home. Just fire them and lay off them because they are not. So again, managers, leaders, supervisors, different, depending on their way of thinking, they will decide what needs to be done. They have to manage people who are upset by change at a time when the same changes are increasing their own workload. Please pay attention to this line. Who are they? Supervisors, managers. Supervisors, managers have to manage people who are upset by change at a time when the same changes are increasing their own workload. So the manager supervisor has to do their own work, which has increased, and they have to manage the well-being, the psychological need, physical need, all of those things of their workers. See how this workload increases. So in that time, if the supervisor or the manager is not really motivated and into the job, and they are not just doing it for the salary or the pay, they really are doing it because they want to do it. If that want, desire is not there, then they are going to be upset also, and they will take the frustration on the workers. Yeah, very interesting points. I hope you will read and think about all these things. Time pressure, of course. Anticipate change. In my notes I wrote here, anticipate change for these pointers. So change will happen, yes, and when change happens, everyone will know that change has happened. But the better thing is that you anticipate it before change has happened. So before something goes wrong, you try to predict what can go wrong, and then you prepare for that. So of course no one is going to fail this course or any course, but as you start any course, you should ask yourself, okay, this is how the coursework is, this is how the final exam is, what can go wrong, what can go wrong, what can happen which will result in my failure. What is that thing? You do that in the start of the course or semester, and then you line out, okay, if I do this I can fail, if I don't listen to the recording I can fail, if I don't participate in discussion I can fail, whatever you find out, depending on the evaluation methods where the marks are allocated. And then from the beginning you ensure that you do not do those things that will increase your chances of success. So instead of failing and then asking yourself why did you fail, as you start the course, when you have just started, you just anticipate that what are some of the things which can go wrong and result in your failure. So this is not just course, this is anything. Yeah. So anticipate. uh, Before something happens, you anticipate and prepare yourself. All the things which I told you about, that future studies, reading future studies, finding what the future of work would be in your industry, whatever industry you like, and finding the skills and then preparing yourself for those skills. What is all of that? That is, all of that is anticipating. You are foreseeing, you are giving forecast, you are predicting based on your readings and so on, and talking with the people who know that industry and all of that, or listening to their talks on YouTube, whatever method is good for you or works for you. You are doing the same thing. Yeah. So look into these pointers, very nice pointers. Involving people and encouraging participation in the change process can aid diagnosis, reduce resistance, and increase commitment. But this kind of approach takes time. This is the type which Abigail was mentioning, that bring people on board, talk to them, make them understand all of that thing. So this is very good. It will increase commitment. It will reduce resistance. But this kind of approach takes time. So if you are in a situation you don't have time, you are in a war, JDF, JCF, that type of thing, and the officer says, the boss says, fire. So you have to fire. There's a time pressure. If you don't fire, or you see, okay, some civilians will die or whatever, but you have to do it because your supervisor has decided something. If you don't obey the command, then you are misfit for that job. Now you might be right that maybe you should not fire, but that is not how that department runs. Yeah. The less urgent the need for change, the more time there is to experiment. When there is a pressing need for change, it is more difficult to search for creative solutions. Less time to plan and manage change. Yeah, so we kind of looked into that. Understanding change. For example, this one, tuning. Look into this tuning. Very nice. Yeah. Figure 1.3. Types of organizational change. Yeah. Tuning, adaptation, reorientation, recreation. Yeah. So tuning is essentially, there is no immediate requirement to change. So you have a little bit of time. So when you have time, look into this. Tuning, incremental and anticipatory. So incremental you can do. Why you can do incremental? Because there is no immediate requirement to change. But when there is immediate requirement to change, you would have to look into something else. So from this diagram, you should be able to tell that. These type of questions you should prepare for your midterm and so on. Yeah, because it is MCQs and so on. But I don't think midterms and these things are important. I think good understanding of the material is more important, because you are not doing it just for pass or fail. You are doing it to really understand what change is all about, and uh, all of that. Yeah, if they this is the takeaway. I think this is the takeaway. It's about time. So the earlier the need is recognized, the greater the number of options managers will have when deciding how to manage it. Yeah, again, the earlier the need is recognized, so you have anticipated. Yeah, you have forecasted. Yeah, the greater the number of options managers will have when deciding how to manage it, because they have more time. Yeah, they can talk with other people and so on. Whenever managers are forced to react to an urgent and pressing need to change, they are relatively constrained in what they can do. Yeah. So now in this regard also, you can think about the pointers Lewis made, and Tanisha made, and Abigail made, and other friends made in the chat time. And of course, summary is one thing which you should always in all the chapters look into the summary. There is a little exercise. This one on page 10. Page 10. Yeah, the nature of changes that have confronted your organization over the past few years. I think I told you to do this in my own words earlier. Not just your organization, at home, in school, in your life. Think about it and reflect on that. This concludes chapter number 1. Thank you very much.